Well, how's everyone doing? Listen, there's a version 2.0.4.9 that has just been released. I have not downloaded it, but I'm about to download it and install it. He didn't list what those changes are, and there's a couple of people that have asked questions. What's the date on this? August the 12th, 2025, 3 days ago. Today is the 15th. So 3 days ago, he released 2.0.4.9. I don't know. He didn't mention anything in terms of what was changed. I'm thinking it's like this guy, Plari. I'm thinking it's more or less just bug fixes. Okay. So I'm going to download it, and I have been asked, how do you update? Well, what I do is I don't necessarily update. I installed a fresh copy of the newest version. I back up the database from the old version, and then I import that database into the new version. And if there are some extra steps, then I'll do that. That way I do not lose what I already have, but it gives me a chance to play with what's new, right? You're going to notice the website does look new. Totally new. He's revamped the website. Same information. He just revamped the website. Looks really nice. I like it. Kudos for Morris. All right. So let's see. We click here. All right. So it doesn't go to the download there. So I'm going to go up to the menu and click download. And I'm going to download 2.0.4.9. I'll be back. Okay, so I've downloaded 2.0.4.9. Let's go to it. It is a zip file. And I downloaded it to my test folder on my test drive. So I'm going to extract it. Right click and extract all. And it's going to make a folder called the same thing. Okay. This is how I do my updates. Okay, so this is a brand new folder. I'm going to run it as administrator. Okay. So it didn't run. If you ever have that problem with any program in Windows, you want to right click and troubleshoot compatibility. Okay. So compatibility came up. It said try the recommended settings. Then I'm going to click test the program. Boom. There it is. Okay. It came up on the other screen. So I'm going to hit next and I'm going to say, yes, save these settings and then close. All right. So now let's get on to installing it. It says, do you want to continue? It's going over to my other screen, by the way. I guess I should have started recording on that screen. I'm going to click yes. Yeah, everything is going over to that screen. I'm sorry. All right, going to accept. Next. Now here is where you make all the difference in the world when you're upgrading or even when you're just doing it for the first time. This is a new install. It's a test install. I'm not going to put it on the C drive. I'm going to put it where all my test installs are, which is on this E drive in this folder called RadioDJ. I'm going to put that, and then I'm going to change this to 2.0.4.9. All right. That's where I'm putting it at. Yeah. And install. All right. Now, the next thing that comes up is the database setup. I think I remember the credentials. So I'm going to change it to 2.0.4.9 here. You can name this database whatever you want to name it. Okay. I'm going to type this in. I don't know if this is correct. I have no idea. I can go find it though. validate. Nope, that didn't work. Let's try that one. That one worked. Okay. All right. So it's green. So this is a fresh install. So I definitely want to install the database, right? Okay. Now, before I go, I want to go over here to see if he made any type of update. Okay. So it looks like you can go from 2006 to 238, and you need to do these one at a time. So you do this first one. If you're on 2006, you would do that one. And then, I don't know. Sometimes this doesn't work. Okay. Sometimes this doesn't work, but this is a fresh install, so it doesn't even matter. All right. So now let me back out and find the folder. So here's the folder. This is where everything is at. So let's click on it and see what it looks like. There's a splash screen. And of course it went over to the other screen. Make some adjustments here. All right, so you're gonna see that a lot of stuff looks the same. Okay, I think what they're preparing for is, I don't want to call it the final release, but the release of the commercial version. Right now, don't get scared. Okay, the commercial version will have some things in it that you probably cannot use. From what I saw, because it was made for terrestrial stations, FM, satellite stations. So it's probably going to have some stuff in there you probably can't even use. Will this still work? Yes, this will still work. Nothing's changed. This will still work. Your free versions will still work. There's nothing to worry about. It's just that the paid version is a professional version, based on what I saw, that connects to professional radio station outboard gear, things like the transmitter, the processors, and some other stuff. That's what makes it different. But everything else is the same. Okay. And it's going to be worth it. If you do FM radio, is definitely going to be worth it. Okay. What I'm hoping for and what I'm looking for is over here in the sound card settings. I'm hoping for a input minus. I would say mix minus. That's the proper term, but an input minus, meaning when you hit the input button, it doesn't send it right back to you on the output. Basically two outputs. We need an output that goes over the air, and we need an output that just plays what RadioDJ is playing. I'll put in a word for that, but we need that. That way, when we go live, we got mixers and we go live and we want to use the input button. Most people are not using the input button because of the delay. Because it sends the input of your computer, it sends it right back to you through the output of the sound card. And that's why there's a delay. It has nothing to really do with RadioDJ other than the fact that it's not wired for that. RadioDJ is really a playback device, period. It's not really meant for an input. But me, on my stations, when I talk, I use the input button because I like how it drops the music in the background and allows me to talk over it. And then when I'm done, it comes back up. That works beautifully for me. For a lot of people, when they have a live DJ set and he comes in and set up his DJs, the input button works beautifully because now they can go into manual mode and they can pipe whatever's coming off his DJ setup straight on through. That's what the input button is good for. But this was not meant for internet radio. It was meant for over-the-air radio. But because of the high level and attention to detail, Marius is really, really got a product here that is top of the line if you really want to get into internet radio. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, it's missing the ability to do voice tracking. I get that. Okay. Trust me, I get that. It has somewhat of a voice tracking feature. And the latest versions on mine, it skips. I don't know if it'll do it here. I can try it. Testing 1, 2. I can try it because in earlier models, when I would record using this feature, it was fine. But now it's kind of like choppy. And then when I went back to an earlier version, it was fine. So I'm like, okay, there's something going on. There's something different. And I did put that in the forum. I don't know if that's been addressed. I hope so. It would be great. Because this does have somewhat of a voice tracking feature. So I'm going to stop that. I'm going to play it. Let me see. Do I have it up? And see if it's still choppy. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's not playing. Hold on. Let me save it. Because when you save it, it's going to ask you for a place. It saves it as a WAV file. And then it's going to ask you where do you want to put it at. And generally, you will put it under sweepers or others. I'll put that under here. And I'm going to say import. So what it did was it imported it. And then from there, you can add it to your playlist between the songs, right? So let's see. I probably do not have the right outputs. Another thing I noticed in here, I know it's going to a cable, virtual cable, is that it used to be if you change the sound system, or I don't even see my outputs. If you change something, you had to restart. That is interesting. You have to restart, right? It says you have to restart, but then, I think it's in 2.4.7 and above. I noticed that it didn't have to restart the system. Let me see. Fine. Okay, there's something not in the from. I know it's been a hope, so it'd be great because it does have like a quality is good, but then it's doing that skipping thing, and I don't know if that's my system. Earlier was when I would use it here, but no, it's choppy. I went earlier. Fine. Okay, there's something not in the. Yeah, see how it's broken up? I didn't see that in 2.0.6. So I'll play with some buffer settings. But that's what most people that's been in radio for a while, they have an issue with being able to do voice tracking. I think it can get you there. It's just not. They're so used to seeing the waveforms on the screen and sliding the voice in between the tracks. They're so used to that this right here doesn't cut it for them. Okay. But yeah, this is 2.0.4.9. Get it, download it, even if you don't decide to use it. It's going to get fixed, or it's going to get, beefed up. Well, that's it for my review of this. I haven't added any music to it because they're all the same. They all do the same thing. It's going to work like it worked. Now, there may be some bugs under here. I do not know. In that case, that's when, you need to go to the forums. And when you go to the forums, let's see. Did he put that at? Contact, license, featured list. Interesting. I do know if you go to the home page and scroll down, he's got it further down. it right here is where the forum posts are. And so when you click that, it takes you to the form. Okay. And this is where you can post. You're going to have to sign up, but this is where you can post bugs and things that you find, as well as read what other people find. Hope this has helped. See you guys in the next video.